Did you notice that most car reviews regarding the interior of the car are always filmed in the parking lot? Yes, even I do this because it's more convenient. But we use cars not in the parking lot, but while driving, and this is where difficulties rise. Modern automakers are vying to see who can fit the biggest touch panel and sensor buttons into cars. Some, especially gifted people, even shove touchpads into the interior like on laptops. But for some reason they all forget to tell how dangerous these innovations really are. In my videos from the What the Function series, I try to at least partially simplify life of drivers in controlling the functions of the cars. And every time it becomes more and more difficult. And it's not for nothing that we are sitting in Tesla, because it was these guys who at one time became the main advocates of the goodbye buttons idea. They sold it under the souls everything is fashionable, beautiful, convenient, over the air updates. But for some reason, they forgot to mention that the real purpose of installing this TV in a car instead of buttons is to reduce the cost of production of the car. Then everyone else chased after Tesla. Look at the interior of most modern cars. You won't find a button there. And often these tablets works horribly. It looks like they saw that Tesla started to use these TVs in all the cars, and yeah, it's a good idea to copy them without investing lots of money into making these interfaces really comfortable and safe to use. Tesla invests a lot in that, and it works way more faster in comparison to all other solutions like that in our cars. In addition, you have to get used to the new erotic fantasies of the designers in every new car. And this is especially true when using rental cars or car sharing, which is so actively advertised by green people. And in general, it's a cool thing, especially for the environment. The most basic problem with the complexity of modern car interfaces is their complete unsafety when operating a car. Automakers install all kinds of safety assistance in their cars, equip them with auto braking systems and driver behavior monitoring and all of that stuff. Regulators are introducing severe fines for picking up your phone while driving. But for some reason, one can use the TV while driving. It's legal. It's okay. A ton of research has already been done, and it has been proven that being distracted by onboard systems is more dangerous than texting while driving. Let's imagine that this is our eyes. They will be here. I will show you how really it looks when you are distracted by the infotainment system. You jump to your Tesla, check the mirrors, all good. You can see them. All good there, all good there. Let's start. Here's your speed. At least you can see it because it's somewhere close to the driving position and driver area of view, but it would be much more comfortable to have it here or maybe somewhere on the head-up display. But let's imagine you need to check the map and find the details for the navigation. So you look like that, and that's it. You can't see upcoming vehicles, so you are concentrated here. Even if you have navigation guidance here, it still will distract you. It will be even worse when you try to adjust something on the air conditioning. You do something here and you can see even less of the road while doing that. Yes, they've done a lot of things to improve that. For example, you can adjust temperature with these actions, but you still have to look here. You don't feel any tactile response from the car and from the screen. It's impossible to deliver the same tactile reaction as you can get from the physical button. And with physical buttons, you always know that to change temperature from 21 to 22 degrees, for example, you need to do 2 clicks. 1, 2, that's it. You don't even need to look there, or you will quickly take a look and then you continue driving, and that's it. And here you have to constantly take a look at the screen. And again, Tesla do a lot of stuff to improve their onboarding system. It works fast, really fast in comparison to all other cars. But what should we actually do? As an alternative, we are offered with voice control. I try to test voice control of cars in all my videos, but so far so bad, at least because of the speed of the operation. But there are also good examples. For example, BYD, which we recently looked at, performed very well in terms of voice control. There are other problems, but voice control works fine. By the way, let's try to get something from Tesla. Set temperature 22 degrees. Well done. Turn off climate control. It understood my command, turn off climate control, but actually it changed it to turn on climate control. Okay, I know there are specially designed commands for Tesla voice control, but they are not intuitive enough. In general, voice control can be a solution here, but it's not a panacea. What we discussed above, it's half measures. I would go further. Regulators, for example, the European Union, like to say that they care about the safety, the future of their citizens, and so on. Okay, maybe it makes sense to issue standards according to which a modern car simply cannot pass certification if the basic set of functions in it's not controlled by physical buttons. Get safety rating agencies to test cars to ensure they are safe enough to use while driving. Air conditioning control, multimedia, basic driving assistance such as parking assistant, and of course an emergency lights button, which is physical in Tesla. Thanks. These are the things that we use regularly, and these are the things that should be controlled by physical buttons, and they should be controlled intuitively. I know the measure is radical, but if it forces automakers to come to their senses, that will be great. To be fair, there is progress towards reducing the degree of madness and the pursuit of stuffing everything into screens. And I personally think that gradually the premium segment will begin to return tactile sensations for basic elements and again will attract people to buy more expensive cars. And if you need something cheaper, use your tablet in the car and nobody cares that it's unsafe. Well, one more option is standardization of interfaces, providing the same user experience in all cars. And that's a moment when Apple and Google burst into the scene. I have been saying for a long time that CarPlay is the best thing that has happened to the onboard systems of modern cars, because it's made by people who understand what interfaces are and how they work. They understand that the buttons must be such that they can be reached with an outstretched hand, that all actions should be intuitive. And yes, CarPlay solves the problem of interacting with the car, at least in terms of navigation and multimedia system. But they have no control over other elements of the car, although I wouldn't mind if I could ask Siri to control the car's temperature or open the sunroof or do some other simple actions. And yeah, you can't get CarPlay in Tesla as they are building their own onboard system. But people want CarPlay and they have to buy and install custom displays in front of them in the car, which costs 40, 50, 60, 70,000 euro or dollars. That's insane. And that means something. But CarPlay and Android Auto, these systems are something to talk in another video. Let me know what you think about the future of car interior and help spread this video as widely as possible by sharing it and writing a comment. This is critical for YouTube algorithm. Check out something else here. Thanks for being with me today. Safe travels and more tactile sensations, if you know what I mean. Bye!